Woo! And can we welcome to the stage your MC for the... Stop it, Killian!
Get the fuck out of here.
Cheers, Francis.
I believe Killian.
Francis failed the comedy class 2 years ago. Welcome for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the pinnacle of comedy in Dublin in this room at the moment. It's the funniest thing you're going to see today. You're going to witness some of the finest comedians that Dublin has to offer. If you go down to the Laughter Lounge. I'm kidding, because they're great. We're going to enjoy some fantastic, talented comedians this evening, all 12 of you. You're going to have a great time. I will also invite you to point out, at the end, we'll do a vote for which one you think I taught wrong as a joke. Aiden? Inside banter! That's exactly what we want. Well, okay, you know, I know what you're mostly thinking. All of you came here to see your friends, family and loved ones. All of you came to see them in this performance. What you're all thinking is, what have you been doing with your life, Manus? How's it going with you? It's going pretty well. I enrolled in another college, another university. I go to UCD now, which is great. It's fantastic. There's a lake. Everything's named after James Joyce. Apparently he went there. Well, I got a job. Recently, about 6 months ago at this stage. This is old material. You're really seeing the strings there. Got a job working in a warehouse. I deliver things, well, rarely on my bicycle, but mostly I work in a warehouse. And it's really changed my outlook on comedy. I got my first nickname from telling a joke at work. My first time, you get a name like Manus, you don't get many nicknames. But I went into work about my third day, I went in, and one of the drivers was kicking the shit out of his door of his van. He was saying, can't get it locked. And I turned to him, calm as you like, and I said, give her a couple of breezers, that'll get her locked. From that day, they called me Big Faggot. I know. Where did they get the idea from? I get to hear, my favourite time of the day in work is taking out the bins. It's at the end of the day, I take the bins out of the office, through the warehouse, and into the bin, the big bin outside. And my favourite time of the day is because I get to hear the same joke every time from our Polish driver called Chris. It's not mandatory that you have one. It's not like, saying, our secretary, our Polish driver, obviously. But I get to hear the same joke. I carry 2 big bin bags out, and I pass him, and he says the same joke every night. And it's the reaction on his face is so funny. Hey, buddy, when you are going home, if there is no food in your house, you can put them in the oven. You will have baked beans. It gets funnier every time. Folks, I'm going to introduce you to a little joke that I have that always works well in a situation such as these, and I've never really taught the guys about this, but they're going to learn on their feet. If you don't feel someone's really laughed to the fullest extent of how funny you think your joke was, all you got to do is give it one of these. It's a comedy lane, folks, and it's a very important tool of our trade. Don't tell anyone the secret. It makes everybody laugh immediately, makes everything really funny. So you can tell a joke like, I recently spilled red food colouring on my testicles. It was diabolical. Is it? I like it. There's also the secret 3-word combination that makes the end of every joke hilarious. With my dick. They use that one a lot. I love teaching classes. With my dick. People are loving it. They're on a high. They're on the crest of a laugh. Now, as you've all learned, always move on to the next thing when they're on the crest of a laugh, which you could tell they were. Can you give me an impression of a crest of a laugh?
That's amazing.
That's a hissed laugh. I'm enjoying this. I'm a teapot. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to take all of this enthusiasm, multiply it by 10 million, bring it fucking surge of rage jizz into the air when you welcome up to the stage for the very first time on stage performing stand-up comedy. A wonderful new comedian who has been described as performing tonight. His name is Jamie Bowden.
Hello, Springfield!
Oh, Jamie.
Hello, TCD! How are we doing all?
Woo!
Give me a second, I need to get my jokes out. Not that good. That's what she said. Now, what is this?
It's a pen.
No, it is a frying pan. What is this?
A frying pan.
Yes, good boy. What is this?
A frying pan?
Yes, it's a frying pan. That will come in probably very, very later. Now, as you can see, I do Earth Sciences as my course, which not many of you have heard, therefore it should be a joke in itself. But seriously, I do feel an affinity with the Earth, because my great-granddad was a coal miner, and his granddad, and his granddad, and his granddad, and it goes back way long like that. So I've got coal thick in my blood, and I went to my doctor last week, and he said to me, Jamie, this is not very good. All this coal in your blood is poisoning you very slowly. But yeah, I sound very English, so you might be thinking, very posh. Doesn't help I lived in Malahide for about a year, and I lived in a place called Gay Brook Lawns. Lawns. But no, seriously, I'm not that posh, because if I was posh, my name would not be Jamie John Bowden. It would be Jamie Julius Caesar Connor Bruce Frederick Samson David Harold Bowden, self-proclaimed Lord of Uppington. Ha! And the ha would be legally included. But there is someone who is very unposh, someone very humble. Wally from Where's Wally? But I keep thinking, why does he keep getting lost? Why doesn't he just get a mobile phone? And then, but I like to think I could do observational humour. Like, when I walked to and from college from Rathmines, I see a Dormier's, and they usually have a sign saying, drivers wanted. And I think, that's an odd way of saying, I like golf! But another sign on my way, it says, danger, men at work outside the work site. And I'm thinking, if men are so dangerous, why not get women to do the job for you? And then there was this one on a car. It was beware, don't hit us because we got a baby sign. But it said, warning, little devil. And I was thinking, if you got the devil on your car, you need an exorcism, not a little sign warning you people about it. But someone who doesn't need an exorcism anytime soon is Wally from Where's Wally? Because he keeps getting lost. But I'm thinking he should get a mobile, it would save him a lot of trouble. But Wally has a girlfriend, and I was thinking, I would like a girlfriend. In fact, I would love her. But there's foreign students. Now I love foreign students and love how they're coming into the country, bringing their money here. But I wish they didn't speak their native language when they're talking to each other. Not because I think they should be learning English or because I'm a racist prick or anything. It's I can't eavesdrop on them if they're speaking Spanish. I love him, I really do. But no, seriously, I've been doing soul searching, and deep down I found a ghost called Joe Stalin or something like that. But on communists and socialists, I'm not much of a socialist. I'm not very good at social events. Someone who likes social events is Wally from Where's Wally? But he keeps getting lost, so I think he should have a mobile phone sometime. Now, they say that 1% of the world controls most of the wealth and the resources, and I'm a part of Ireland's 1%, not the bit with the money or anything, the bit that doesn't drink. But I saw this sign saying Pokemon free play event, and I misread it as Pokemon foreplay event. And I was like, oh, you just ruined my childhood sci-fi. But seriously, did anyone see the Doctor Who 50th special? Good to see we haven't got first signs yet. Now, in that special, if you haven't seen it, partway through, Queen Elizabeth I pulls up her skirt and has a knife on her garter and says, I've taken precautions. Now, if a girl from the 21st century pulled up her skirt and said, I've taken precautions, you wouldn't be seeing a knife there. But someone who doesn't get up to that sort of mischief, no matter where he travels, is Wally from Where's Wally? But I think he keeps getting lost, so why doesn't he get a mobile? But there's boy bands. I hate boy bands. Like One Direction. Why are they called that? Is it all because they're going down? Anyway, a girl who's just not sure if she's lesbian or not, and a member of One Direction go into a gay bar, and the barman thinks to himself, okay, we've got one lesbian, but what's the girl doing here? I saw for a panto an ad that said Beauty and the Beast with Jedward, and I was thinking, what the hell are they doing there? They're too ugly to be Beauty, and they're too ugly to be the Beast. But one boy band I can stand is Westlife, because they're broken up. But if they had suicidal tendencies, they'd be singing Uptown Lemming. But one person who's not suicidal is Wally from Where's Wally? But he keeps getting lost, so I'm thinking he should get a mobile phone. But I just moved up to Dublin. It's not the first time I've lived in Dublin, but I really started to notice all the beggars around here. But I'm thinking, why don't we just get everyone out of the Doyle and replace them with beggars? They'll do the same work for half the pay. But a friend of mine said that most of politicians' day job is teacher, and I said no, it's con man. And then there's the other classic one. What do you call a politician in a second term? Repeat offender. But seriously, I really love politicians. They're such great inspiration for jokes. But in geography, you learn about various types of industries, like primary industries, secondary industries, and tertiary industries. Tertiary is services, which I am because I'm giving you a service of torture. But seriously, that does put me in with some very bad people. Gangsters, assassins, Shakespearean actors. And Another thing you learn in geography is that the deserts you see in the Sahara are called a sand sea, or as they're properly called, an erg. Another thing, Where's Wally keeps getting lost, so I'm thinking, why doesn't he get a frying pan?
I would watch that every day forever. It was fantastic. Loop again for Jamie Bowden. This is apparently because a mo in the United States is a slang term for homosexual. So you can see where they got that from. It's good. I didn't want to associate the month of Movember with homosexual, which is weird because the whole month is dedicated to worshipping Freddie Mercury's facial hair. And every time I think about Freddie Mercury, why doesn't he just get a mobile? Because he's been dead for many years. I enjoyed Jamie's set. I said I would watch that every day for the rest of my life. I've not had such a pure joy in so long. I loved it. It was the political humour when it got into it. No, because he actually did follow like the first rule of comedy. Our first class was just like, right lads, the Backstreet Boys, more like the Whack Street Boys. Write it down. Justin Bieber, more like Justin Queer. One Direction, more like fuck off. So ended the lesson. Folks, I'm enjoying myself up here too much, so and if it was anyone less talented, it would pain me to relinquish the stage to them. But it's going to be my pleasure now to introduce somebody who's a very talented emerging comedian, who's actually does have a bit of experience with public speaking, singing in the shower, that kind of thing. You know, he's good at all of that. he's fast becoming a very good friend of mine, and he's an excellent comedian. And I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Cormac McGuinness.
Push it to the limit. That's right. Everyone having a good time? Yeah.
Woo!
That's right. They say to be funny, you need to know your crowd. You, sir. What is your name?
Ben.
Very good. Thanks, Ben. Yeah, I never ever seen those ads on the internet. Like, this lady found this one simple trick for whitening your teeth. Dentists hate her. Like, I don't think that's a bit odd. Like, doctors, I don't think would do that. If doctors were like in the canteen, like having a bit of food, and like, okay, man, there's that lady that cured polio with that one simple trick. Yeah. We hate her. You guys, can I sit with you? No. We hate you. It seems a bit odd. Like, why bother hating someone who's just anyway? That's comedy, isn't it? The other thing, I mean, yeah, why hate people? I personally am more good at making people very annoyed, which is unfortunate. My first year teacher in school spoke with a very heavy Irish accent from Connemara. You know, so we'd ask her questions like, what's the Irish for waterfall? And she'd smile at us and say like, ass, like that. Which I think is unfortunate, so I started laughing and was sent up to the front. And I was like, yes. It was funny. She was like, Banwech on strishin, which in Irish means like, take that smirk off your face. But I didn't know what the word for smirk was in Irish, so misunderstanding her, I started taking off my jacket. I was sent out of that class. The other person I've annoyed loads is my mother. My mother got really annoyed when I sent. Sorry, I'm just getting a text. When I spent the night in our home with my now ex-girlfriend. I know, right? I'm sad. With my now ex-girlfriend. She got really annoyed when I did that, and then she sent me a text to explain how annoyed she was, but she like used all those weird like parent texting tricks that they do anyway. It's like, I'm so angry with you, but I'm not going over 180 characters. Like, this kind of thing. It's character. I'll just read it out to you. Cormac, it begins. It shows a certain lack of respect to share a bed, W/Isabel, under my nose, without first seeing if it's uppercase, okay, by me, which is uppercase, isn't. Why? Question mark. Because it's my house, ellipsis. The letter U can do whatever the letter U like in Dublin, but this is our home. And a 13-year-old is asking where his brother slept last night. Sorry, last NGT. Not on, Cormac. Ellipsis. Not on. Ellipsis. I found her the next day. I was like, what's the problem? Like, as in, why don't you just tell him where I slept last night? She was like, what did you want me to say? That you were sleeping in a bed with your girlfriend? I was like, yeah. She got really annoyed at that. She's like, Eamon, talk to him. Whatever. My brother is way, he can handle that definitely though. He's way cooler than I am. He's stolen a bottle of vodka from our house, and he's looked at porn, which I've had to, on the computer, the family computer, which I've had to have a talk to him about. But he knows now that there are far better ways of finding porn than Googling Cheryl Cole naked on the thing. My personal first time was Googling boobs.com, which ended poorly for me. Yeah, but enough about my shame as a Catholic. Yeah. So we're all in Trinity, that's fun. It's weird though, it seems like with UCD there's this weird rivalry. I'd say it's the same with everyone. Any like, you know, big universities being close together. But like I was in the Jacks in the Arts Block and there's this thing written on the wall. It said UCD degree, take one, and it pointed to the toilet roll dispenser. I'm like, who the fuck, who would write that? Like, as in, who would consider that like, wait till they see this. We'll destroy them. Walking out of the bathroom like, that's right, UCD. Your university is toilet paper. Just seems like an odd thing. But yeah, Trinity get a hard time, but probably fairly a lot of the time. Like the townspeople of Kells, County Meath recently were quoted as saying like, give us back the Book of Kells. And Trinity were quoted as saying, no. You can't have it back. You have no, and these county councillors getting all uppity like, you have no right to have that book. And they were like, yeah, well, we're going to keep it anyway. It's a great source of income. You're like, no. They're just stew about it. Well, yeah, one thing that actually does annoy me though about Trinity is the word campanile. Like that word that's not a real word. Like we made that up. We made that up to scare Catholics. That's why I made it up. And it fucking works as well. That's terrifying. I have no idea what it's for. You see open days where they bring in like, you know, groups of Catholic students, they know which are which, and they, you know, they just know. They wear t-shirts that say like, I love transubstantiation. It's very easy. They point like, oh, what's that? Like, oh, good question. It's the campanile! They just roar at them. Oh, that's loud. Yeah. They're like, oh, Jesus, oh, what's that for? They're like, that's where we keep our Protestant soup. To convert people, ooh, like, and that's where we keep our own interpretations of the Bible. Terrifying. But yeah, so that's pretty much. I mean, the only thing I have to say is a joke to close is also related to Protestants, which is how do you know E.T. is a Protestant? Because he looks like one. Thanks very much, everybody.
Everybody, that lads, Cormac McGuinness. Woo! Fantastic. He's just a superstar. Cormac missed all of the classes, which explains why he's so good. Self-deprecating humor there. It's another little trick you can teach people. It's very good. It's very useful. It's very important to teach them these things in life, like how to continue on a sentence for a long time until you remember what it was you were about to say. Cormac's set reminded me a little bit about That was a bit of graffiti I saw myself, and actually I think the graffiti you saw, and we all saw, fair enough, was actually sophisticated, very sophisticated. There's a sentence structure there. I went to a school at one point. They had just banned caning when I left, and it was a wonderful piece of graffiti. There was a recycle bin near the kind of lunch eating area, canteen, whatever. Why use one word when you can use three? And it said, funny enough, on it, surrounded by a triangle made of arrows, cans. Because that's where you were supposed to put your cans. But that's not all it said. Some enterprising little divil really stuck it to the fat cats in Leinster House when he wrote this little ditty. Cans are gay. Fucking gay cans, man. Was it for this that the men of 1960 died? You homophobic aluminium bastards! I can't even remember what I was going to say. That just really got to me. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to ignore me and put aside everything you think bad about me and to welcome to the stage our next act. Our next act has travelled a long way. She's the only girl who finished the classes. That's not fair. Julia finished them as well. She did. And she would be here, but what was that thing that Mike Tyson got banned from boxing for? He bit off someone's ear. Julia bit off someone's ear during the last class. Enough about her. Alright? Our next act is a very talented lady. She comes to you all the way from Bad Street, Atlanta, Georgia. I would like to welcome to the room, making her way to the ring, from Atlanta, Georgia, Alex Taylor.
Hey y'all.
Hey.
So I've liked to think of myself as the kind of girl you can bring home to meet the parents, mom and dad. I got that girl next door, all-American thing going for me. And as far as I know, you can't tell if someone has HPV from a handshake. So, a little bit about me. I took a pregnancy test about 3 weeks ago. And I went into the pharmacy, or the chemist, or surgery, or whatever you call it here. And I walked over to the shelf, and it's like 2 rows of my worst nightmare. Like, packaging for pregnancy tests is just not geared towards young 20-something-year-old women. Like, there's always a woman, she's like a baby bump, there's like the fetus inside it, you can see all of its nails. And like, the man has his arms around her, like, they're building a home together. And it says, find out you've missed your period 5 days before, or like, find out you're pregnant 5 days before your missed period. And the idea of taking a pregnancy test before my missed period is just a concept that's totally lost on me. Anyway, so I take my pregnancy test up to the counter, and the woman behind the counter is pretty obviously a lesbian, and she gives me this look like, you fucking breeder. Like she knows what I'm up to. And I felt kind of bad about it too. Like, I was sitting there and I was like, oh shit, like, you're right, I'm a huge slut. And then I kind of like, I was walking out and I thought to myself, I was like, you know what? I think I would take the shame of throwing a clear blue wrapper out in the bathroom at Workman's over like a what would Xena do sticker on the back of my Super Bowl and the best of Enya any day of the week. Also, notice I used Workman's instead of Coppers because I'm a classy lady. No, I can make that joke because some of my best friends are lesbians. Yeah. No, that's one of my favorite things about being an American too. Is anytime anyone says something like, "Some of my best friends are black," it's like, "Oh, your family owned slaves." It's true. But speaking of slavery, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and that wasn't supposed to come off like a selling point. I'm always amazed when I'm walking around Trinity campus. Like, everyone can sort of tell each other's accents. Like, it's such a small country, but everyone sort of has such distinct little like tinges to their talk. And like, I think I find it so incredible because where I'm from, like, you really only have two options. It's like white trash or black. Racism. Anyway, I've always had this thing for older men. But it makes my dating checklist a lot harder because like not only am I trying to find someone who's like employed, funny, smart, but like he also has to fail to understand like all of the nuances of airport security. And like I'd prefer if he reeked of scotch and like threw a fit at all of our holiday Christmases, like family events. It was a joke about daddy issues. It's funny because it's true. Another downside is they had to forcibly remove me from the Bog Bodies exhibit. Yeah. Chuck. No, but I'm not pregnant. But like I wasn't that worried about it. I think of it like catching babies. You know, like you come home to your roommates and you're like, "Oh, I slept over at John's last night and I think I caught baby." Like I don't know do you guys have like airborne or emergency in Ireland? Like, you know, it's like a vitamin C thing. You like put in your water and you drink it when you feel like you have a cold coming on. I don't know, maybe it's an American thing, yeah. But sort of I've concocted my own version. You throw 2 morning after pills in a martini. Yeah. But like I don't know. The thing about catching baby is it's really not that bad. Like I think we can all agree. Like it's one step above syphilis. That shit ain't AIDS. Anyway, thank you.
Alex Taylor, ladies and gentlemen. Fantastic. I enjoyed that. That was fun for me. It should have been fun for you too. It was good. We cover a lot of things in comedy classes which you should attend and pay me liberally for. We cover heckles. I've never gotten a good heckle, or actually, I hadn't ever gotten a good heckle till the Edinburgh Festival 2 years ago, and wasn't even on stage. And I don't even know that it was necessarily specifically directed at me, but it cut to the quick. I was flyering for my show where you hand them a bit of paper and then they throw it away and don't look at it. And a guy came up to me and went, "Oh, you," because Scottish people are great. They're fucking class. They're amazing. They're racist. Racist as all. Fucking. They hate races that have been extinct for hundreds of years. They hate dodos in Scotland. Dodos are race. Not important. He came up to me and it was the best heckle I've ever gotten. It was perfect. He looked at me and goes, "I got a joke for you. What's shitter than you?" At this point I probably shouldn't have responded, "Go on, what?" "Full of you." What could I say? These jokes are like masturbating surfers. They're coming in waves. Oh, Christ almighty. I think it's about time to introduce you to our next act. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to fuck around. I'm just going to introduce you to him as soon as I remember the running order that I established in my head. Our next act is coming to you all the way from... Is it politically correct to say Dublin?
Yeah.
Dublin. No. Making his way to the ring, weighing in at whatever the hell he wants to claim. We're friends. It's banter. Not anymore, apparently. It just came out. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to welcome to the stage Sean Roper Nolan.
For my song, there's actually a drop in a few seconds, but it's alright. I'm not very funny, so I'm just gonna read some jokes off a little scroll that I just made up a few seconds ago. For example, what do you call a dinosaur with a good vocabulary?
What?
A thesaurus. Oh, that took a few hours. Do you about the sheep who was so excited to get shaved? He died from sheer excitement. I was actually going to make some cow jokes, but I thought I'd move on to some other animal. Maybe I'll just move on to something else. Move on. I'm really milking this one. So I went to the zoo the other day, and all the what are they called? Hippopotamuses were saying to me, "Oh, you should lose weight, you should lose weight." I'm like, hypocritical? Hypocritical? See, it's funny when I explain them to you. It's not, is it? So yeah, all the pandas escaped their cages. I'm like, oh, it's utter pandemonium. Laugh more, guys. This is for my self-esteem, okay? I know that joke was unbearable. Unbearable. Sorry for the big pause. I went to the lizards. I went to the lizard enclosure and I watched these two iguanas trying to have sex, but they couldn't get it on. Guess what? Reptile dysfunction. And so ends the good jokes. Did you hear about the Duracell bunny?
No.
He was charged with armed battery. I thought it was good. My friend and I have this running joke about marathons. That was the joke. So Arnold Schwarzenegger came up to me and he's like, "Hey Sean, are you any good at doing impressions?" I said no. Did you hear about the wooden car with the wooden wheels and the wooden engine? Wouldn't work. That's from my dad. Do you ever break a window and go, the pain? It's spelled in a different way, but it has the same sound, so that's why it's funny. Hey, why is Peter Pan always flying?
Why?
Because he never lands. So I came out to my parents' gate the other night, and they said to me, "Oh, I'm so shocked." I'm like, "I know, I couldn't keep a straight face." I know. And so my mom was like, "So Sean, is the musicals that you like, or is the obvious fashion sense that makes you gay?" I'm like, "No, it's not that. It's liking cock. That does it for me." That's not appropriate. So I went to my tailor, and I was telling him all these jokes, and he's like, "Oh, I had him in stitches." Anyway, that's not the joke. That was just a setup for the joke. So I kept doing them. I got so pissed off, and he just said, "You know what? Suit yourself," and left. But he had done it halfway through hemming my sleeves, so I was left without sleeves. I thought, what a waistcoat. A waistcoat. So I used to work in the elevator business. I tell you what, that has its ups and downs. And every so often someone would fart in the elevator. I'm like, that's wrong on so many different levels. I thought that was good. So I went to the doctor and he says to me, "Sean, I'm not sure how to say this. Hemorrhoid? Hemorrhoids? I think hemorrhoids. I'm like, oh crap. So unlike my humor, my hemorrhoid cream is topical. Topical humor. Oh. Actually, do you want some of my hemorrhoid cream? Because I've got piles. So you guys hear about the IRA guy who tried to blow up a car?
No.
He burned his mouth.
Oh.
It was exhausting. And that's all my terrorist jokes. You know, not many guys can pull off skinny jeans, probably because, you know, they're so tight. That wasn't even funny. So I'm here at the break-in at the local pound. All the dogs got loose and the police are still looking for leads. There's actually, if you've been over to the gym, there's actually a hole in the girls' changing room in the wall. The police are looking into it. I actually auditioned for they're doing a remake of Lassie. I auditioned for the lead role and I got the lead. The lead. See, if you're not laughing, I'm gonna have to do this whole thing. Nobody wants that. So my friend cannot stop eating chicken nuggets from McDonald's. I mean, she just does not stop eating it. She has like an obsession with it. So she goes, "Oh, I think I might have OCD." I'm like, "No, it's more obesity." Obesity. These are the funny ones. What are you doing against the bad ones? Hear about the new graveyard up in Glasnevin? People are dying to get into it. Oh, funny. What about chicken, lettuce, tomato? I'm on a roll. They get worse as they go along. So, what do Northsiders use for protection during sex? Bus shelters. Oh, I shouldn't make jokes. Doctor, doctor, I think I'm a pair of curtains. Pull yourself together. Doctor, doctor, 1 minute I think I'm a teepee, the next minute I think I'm a wigwam. You're too tense. Doctor, doctor, everybody keeps ignoring me. Who said that? Next. Doctor, doctor, shut up. Guys, I'll leave you with this because, well, it's not my microphone, so I suppose. A friend of mine broke his finger, but on the other hand, he's alright.
Awkward pause. Give it up for Sean again, everybody! Sean obviously attended the pun class. Only the pun class. I enjoyed that. That was pleasant to watch and listen to. Much like yourself. You're a good lad altogether. You really are. I saw a card in the shop recently. It said, "Life begins at 40. And I thought, that is aggressively pro-choice. That was good. I like that one. Ladies and gentlemen, next welcome to the stage from the mean streets of Belfast, New York, Ireland, the wonderfully talented Mr. Ollie Donnelly. Ladies and gentlemen, I did want as my opening music tonight Atomic by Blondie, because I was going to lead that into a joke, but we're just going to go with it anyway. So yeah, my opening music tonight was not Atomic by Blondie, but, unless the speakers are that bad that I don't know. But yeah. Going with it, I chose the music because, you know, to honour Ernest Walton, who is a Trinity alumni and who also a Belfaster, and the man who split the atom. Ladies and gentlemen, in Belfast we took the smallest thing in existence, literally the tiniest thing conceivable, and divided even that. And not only did we divide it, but then we turned it into a bomb. I was really uncertain about making that joke, actually, because a bomb went off in Belfast over the weekend, and I was sitting watching the news thinking, hope no one was hurt, I hope no one was hurt, I hope no one was hurt. And then the next morning I went on the internet and saw no one was actually hurt, no one was injured, and I was like, thank God, I can do the Belfast routine.
Yeah, so people say a lot of bad things about Belfast, but there are actually, good things. It is quite warm in the summer because of all the petrol bombs. But we have a different attitude to the weather anyway. We don't mind the rain. It puts out the fires. So yeah, we had the Titanic building built up there recently, made to look like a realistic enough representation of the Titanic. And it is pretty realistic. They didn't go with my idea of having people lie around it covered in blue paint at all times. But yeah, you win some, you lose some. So we filmed Game of Thrones up north. Anyone watching it? Yeah, well, an unending civil war. Violence for no real reason. People talking like they're from 400 years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, Northern Ireland is the perfect place to film Game of Thrones. But yeah, the internet seems to have went completely obsessed with that show. Internet's got obsessed actually with a lot of things. Like, you see the Hunger Games, you also see that thing where they combine celebrity names. If anyone's aware of it, so you've got Brad Jalita, you've got Kim Ye. And I was kind of wondering why they haven't done this with the Hunger Games yet. With Peeta and Katniss. Because it would be penis. So yeah,
Tell it again.
You've got other things on the internet. You've got. Has anyone seen the YouTube video for What Does the Fox Say?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that realistic and it's not that true to life. I mean, no fox does that weird shaky dance that they have them doing, and no fox makes that weird stuttering, ring it whatever noise, except for Michael J. Fox these days. I'm going to hell. Yeah, you have. I met someone on the internet. Started a relationship. The thing is, it is painfully slow. I mean, I even paid for the express postage and packing with it, but it ended though because I didn't think, she had much of a heart. The guy that took her off me assures me he got a good price for it though, so yeah. Apologies. Yeah, being a new comedian, you do learn different tricks of the trade and different things that you need to kind of get working, like crap, what was it? Delivery! Yeah, you need to make sure you deliver jokes right. Yeah, you've also got, I tried a few different types of humor when I was trying to, find my own style. I tried self-deprecating comedy, but I wasn't very good at it. I tried black comedy, but it was a little dark. I tried African American style humor, but it was also a little dark. Yeah, I tried making, sex jokes, but it was hard, really hard, and I couldn't really pull it off. Guys, I am going to leave you with a little story here. This Halloween past, I went out, and I've had some kind of really unfortunate romantic experiences. So I was thinking, I'm sick of looking for someone. I'm sick of trying to find someone. So this year, this Halloween, I'm gonna get someone to look for me. I'm gonna get someone to try to find me. Yeah. So I dressed as Where's Wally? Although, really awkwardly, my phone died that night. Thank you, Liz.
Sir, don't stop clapping, Mr. Ronnie Donnelly. It was fantastic. And I'm enjoying this shit. It's very, very good indeed. It's very good. I'm enjoying it. It's fantastic. Our next act is a nanoscientist. What's that like? Does it feel bad to do a degree where at some point anyone could ruin it by walking into the laboratory and go, lads, we've actually finished science? What? Yeah, God's real. He did it all. Go find real jobs, guys. No. That wouldn't happen. Scientists don't listen to people who think God is real. I want to be serious for a moment, folks, because we've only got one act left. I want you to remember. I know. It's sad, right? It's sad. We can do them all again afterwards if you want. Yeah! But I want you to remember, though, that what these guys are doing is their first performance on stage in front of people doing stand-up comedy. Stand-up comedy is the single hardest thing in the entire world. Don't make a dick joke. Don't do it. I know you're thinking about it. Don't do it. It is. And my highlight of tonight actually was when Ollie made the Michael J. Fox joke. The one guy who went, "Yeah! Take that, you jittery heathen!" Love that shit. Yeah, who was that? I should have fucking known. No, stand-up comedy is the hardest thing in the world to do. Bearing your soul and all you are in front of the entire audience. You standing here naked would be easier. For me, you'd find it difficult. You're standing naked in front of a room full of strangers, or sometimes even worse, people you know well, afraid that they're gonna see you for who you really are, and you do see a lot of somebody when they're on stage. It's like being naked in front of people you don't know, in a cold room that shrivels your metaphorical penis. Alex. Because she's the only girl in the group and wouldn't have a penis. Thank you. That was the laughter equivalent of like polite applause in the rambunctious political speech. It's the most difficult thing in the world. And anybody who has the balls to do it, or the lack of balls to do it, deserves your respect. So I want you to remember that. And think about all of that. And commit all of the respect that you have to all of the guys who performed this evening, and focus it in the form of a rowdy reception for our final act tonight. He's a very funny man. You're going to find that out on your own. You don't need me to tell you that. His name is Michael McDermott. Woo!